if you give INEC this water, they fit turn into wine. There's nothing INEC cannot do. What INEC cannot do does not exist. INEC is a political party. And the current INEC is APC. They said they want to move from Emilokan to Seyilokan.
APC's dominance in Lagos is a myth. In the presidential election, APC lost Lagos. In the INEC declared result, APC lost Lagos. Some argue that if the governorship election had been held on that same day, they would have lost Lagos.
Do you imagine somebody that is Wike's cousin will conduct a credible election? Wike's cousin is the one that conducted that election in Nedu, where they changed results on IREV. Wike is demolishing people's houses. He does not follow due process of law. All you see is that you just see bulldozer while you are sleeping. They'll bring down your house. And what he's telling people is that, his president I said he need land. There's a saying when Tinubu was here that he was selling the whole of Lagos for himself. So they want to replicate that now in Abuja. The Lagos state governor is a litigant. There's no hope. Nigeria go better, Nigeria go better. Since 1960 something, they sing this song now.
Yes.
But now we're in 2024, for God's sake. We are still in this studio singing Nigeria go better. So which day this country go better? If Burna Boy were to be defamed, allegedly, in the US, or in the UK, or in any part of Europe, or in any civilized society, will he use police to arrest Speed Darlington?
What would you do?
Because you're a big man, mobilize 50 mobile policemen, men that should be chasing bandits in Zamfara. What kind of a country is this? There's a contractor that Wike arrested in the FCT. So this contractor, I think he was owing them maybe small money. Some of the contractors, they owe them 300,000, 400,000. So the contractor sent him a message. I cannot feed my family. My children are sick. Blah, blah. They went to arrest the contractor. They didn't see him. They arrested his wife.
Chimo.
And took her to SARS Abattoir in Guzape in Abuja.
Jesus.
Do you know who Nyesom Wike is? Wike is fighting Sim Fubara because Wike was declaring 11 billion IGR over a year ago. Sim Fubara is declaring 27 billion now. And you said they should not fight.
Jesus.
So it means that somebody...
The Honest Bunch podcast is brought to you by Reseda, Lenfi, Seymour Global, Declan Wines, and Workman.
Welcome to the Honest Bunch podcast. We are super grateful that every Monday at 6 p.m. you're there, and all through the week you give us the support. Some people go come to us say, you people are always unasi say with season 6. We tell you now, say, don't worry. Sure, you want to hear word, you will hear word. You can see from the caliber of our guests that we were very prepared. Although we were prepared before, but we thought say this season, every time you watch the Honest Bunch podcast, you must carry 80 leaves. You will jot things down and take things away. Yes, it's okay. We thank God. Don't worry. We are not. It's God. It's God. We like your support. We appreciate you. Your comments, your suggestions. We're really very, very grateful. Now, with the tell you that say we get solid people when they are our back, brands where we say they're very, very important. And because of say we trust them, they believe say we be people of integrity. Now, why would they carry updates to help una? Now, Reseda, it is really very important. If you want to invest in real estate, follow the right people. Make you not go put yourself for trouble. So with Reseda, you have no problems whatsoever, no worries, no issues, and you will definitely get your money's worth. Remember, slide into their DM and put the keyword Honest Bunch. They go no say na from us, and they will give you the very best deals.
Anyways, for those of you when we say they build house, very, very simple. If you know, say you they build house, you want buy door, tiles, toilet, all your toilet seats, your gates, all those bulletproof doors, everything we go make your house 150% like house where they for Russia or America. Seymour Global, the office they for inside Port Harcourt, but their phone number go there on top of the screen. Just in case other mama you want to get all this things so I don't talk, give them a call and then tell us you come from us. You're going to get a discount as usual.
And when you buy that house and you furnish it, you need maintenance. So you need artisans to help you fix your AC, fix your TV, fix your fridge.
Like a soft girl.
Yes. And you don't want to be stressing yourself going to the street. I beg, please, you help me buy carpenter. No. Just pick up your phone. Workman HQ. And if you're abroad and your mother is here, your father is here,
You need to stress them.
you don't need to stress them now. You just say, Mama, go and open the gates. Oh, no. Tell the gate man to open the gate for the artisan. Yeah. So.
And if artisan can't repair the fridge cost spoil.
what will you do? You buy. They have for sale now. They sell.
Interesting. They work it for you, man.
Yes.
Work, man. It's okay. I just said to just, but it's okay.
And chummies, while you're at it, do not forget to pour yourself a glass of Declan. Actually, Declan wine. But do not forget to pour yourself a glass and relax and enjoy. Period.
Yes.
And it's also important that as you are sending money, you use Lemfi. Very, very important. Don't wait for people to ask you for money, especially if you reside in Canada, the United Kingdom, US. Send them money first. Shock them. When they change, because the exchange rate in Nigeria, they shock people almost every two days. So just send them that $100 first. Once you send them the $100, it could maybe that it's now 19 or it's now 21. So just when they say, why did you send me with Lemfi? I just wanted to shock you. But you know what you are doing? So that by the time they ask you, say, the one I sent you last week, Unko, his voice, don't call me again. And for the first $100 that you send, if you use our code HBPOD, you will get $30 cash back. Just do this thing. Don't stress yourself. That's why we carry updates come. Ladies and gentlemen, introduction of the amazing quartet. We don't win award. People know us now. Now, why big people, they sit down with us and then they talk. I would begin with the body. She says she's no longer Gen Z. The body that has home training.
Period.
Body with the fear of God.
Period.
Body with proper upbringing. Ọmọ tó máa ń gbọ́rọ̀ sí mọ́mì àti bàbá ẹ̀ létí. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful, delectable, drop-dead gorgeous Deity Cole with the voice. Deity Cole!
Of Lagos Island.
Yes, please.
Of the Cole family of Lagos
Cole
Island.
family of Lagos Island.
Not Victoria Island.
Yes.
Hi, chummies.
Hi, chummies.
Happy New Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, one beautiful Nigerian woman, two beautiful Nigerian women in the same space. You know it's about to go down. By the special grace of God. Incoming. Adaitim one. We want. The light has come. www.asanpokoto.com. NEPA, inverter, generator, transformer, all in one. Ladies and gentlemen, our first daughter, Zini Posh, Ezinne Mama.
Husband material.
It's okay.
I'll shock you.
Don't shock me. Take it easy. A lot of things are shocking in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, our elder brother, a great man. A man of enchanting physiognomy, many degrees and characters. A man of great wisdom. A man that if it were to be in the Old Testament, the day that Solomon used his wisdom to settle the quarrel between the two women that wanted to divide the baby, he would have given him a suggestion. A man that knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Our husband material knows somebody. Nedu.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? By the way, thank you, Collins Kind, for making me look fly. I appreciate you. And of course, husband material is
6 foot tall chocolate papi.
Give me a ring light, wine.
Get it.
Cucumber, wine.
Get it. Get it.
Follow come charger of a man.
You know I'm very shy.
Prayer point too much.
It's okay, don't do this. I'm a shy. God resists the humble. Sorry, God resists the proud. Elevates the humble. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guests, he not get anybody where we go carry come, when go they best suited for this conversation. Now then go talk and please, it is important that you watch this episode until the end because you would learn a lot. If you are passionate about Nigeria, if you love this country, if you are our younger sibling, yeah, because we senior Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, we senior
everybody.
We might be having family issues with our parents, the leaders, but we are your senior. Don't even go there. Go and check history. So if you are African, if you are black, if you love the black race, watch this episode because it would open your eyes and importantly, you would learn very important lessons that would make you have that confidence in yourself and the belief that as a race, we are special, we are unique, and we are different. The first person, when I go introduce, that person will be say, if you see information, you go just reason, say, this person like problem. Police don't arrest them. Reach one point where we say they not agree arrest them again. They not the fee arrest them. He get the point where they arrest them. Reach that they will send a text message say just come because we don't want to waste fuel and come because you know the fear arrest. They don't prosecute them. Don't try. And the thing when Saul, the former son, when he do the brethren, now what did they do, Amo? Then go court tell them, say, which case are you bringing again? You don't bring case come. This man not do anything now. He can look and say, oh, instead of making the stress lawyer, he go stress himself. He can't go study law. Now why him be the law? When they represent himself for court and he hate oppression, anything will concern oppression, he will be there fighting against it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only. I don't know if I should put the nemesis of, but he get person when they currently give headache. That one too, not the rest, because he did there. Deji Adeyanju, comrade. You're welcome. Barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Thank you guys for having me again.
You're welcome, sir.
Again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our next guest is soft-spoken. But he's a man of great wisdom. Oh, this one, they're not they buy him. They're not they learn him. Now follow come. If he did your body, he did your body.
If he didn't day,
he didn't day. And a person when we say his presence alone, they bring calm. They bring order. They bring comfort. And you would understand when you watch this episode. He's super intelligent, a man of great wisdom, and someone who is very passionate about our great country, Nigeria. Now, he'll be the first person in the history of this country when we say the people, when they oppose them, they talk, say, oh, I wish you were part of us. Because the value when they bring come, now value will be say, if you not there, you not get him. Ladies and gentlemen, he ran for the office of the governor of Lagos State. Unfortunately, we know how election happen now, but we know, say, by the special grace of God, incoming. Funsho Doherty! You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you
very much. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you so
to be
much.
here.
God bless you. Thank you. We're really very grateful to have the both of you on set, and we're very certain that people would learn. Make I just quickly apologize, because if you watch the episode, the first episode that featured Comrade Deji Adeyanju, if you go through the comments, a lot of people were like, oh, this is what you people do now. Now that he's making sense, you cut him. The episode was too short. Not be our fault. If we now watch him that day,
I was
go see
actually at fault. I had to leave, and I'm so sorry. But I'm going to be here today till the end of the show.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. So please, the way you people were insulting us, apologize to us now. Because we will not bring a great guest and then want to rush the person out of the studio. When I don't see, I'm saying it's important to listen and understand. At least give us the benefit of that. We have been doing this thing for 6 seasons now. We will never take you for granted. Don't do that.
It's hurting your face.
It's hurting my feelings. So let's delve straight into the conversation. And there's a question that I believe every Nigerian would want us to ask on this episode, given the caliber of the guests that are seated with us today. Are there good politicians in Nigeria?
Yes, no doubt there are a lot of good politicians in the country. You know, everybody in this country knows my stand about this government and the previous government. You know, especially this man who snatched it, ran away with it, you know, who stole the election. He knows that he stole the election. But should we say that everybody who is in this government is bad? I don't think so. You know, Malam Nurubadu is in this government. He is somebody that I'm sure will not steal $1. You know his record, his history in this country. He's rejected millions of dollars as bribe as EFCC chairman.
Your mic.
Oh, yeah, so he rejected and refused millions of dollars as EFCC chairman. So you can't say that there are no good people. You cannot give a blanket statement. While I do not, like the government, I do not like the president, I know that there are some great people who are doing great stuff in the government. But so I would be very selfish to just do a blanket statement to say, oh, everybody in the government is bad. Was Dora Akunyili not in the bad government of one previous government? There are always ray of lights, even in darkness. Akinwumi Adesina was also in one government that everybody criticized and said was bad in this country. But my issue has always been that the bad people in government are more than the good ones. And that's where you can see that Buhari now is happy that Tinubu came after him. Because we thought that Buhari was bad. But look at what we are currently witnessing. Buhari is happy that he was maybe like, his government can be described as shambles. You know, somebody just mentioned shambles recently, that the economy is in shambles and people are getting angry. So Buhari's government could have been described as shambles. You know, but look at the Tinubu government. Comatose. Completely gone. So these are the issues. The bad people outweigh the good people. And that is why people generally, and the trust deficit, I don't even want to go there. People generally don't just want to have anything to do with people who are in government.
But, so I would let you respond to that question. Yeah. But there's a perception amongst many Nigerians, and you would not blame us for thinking a certain way. Because if we go back to, since the return to democratic rule in 1999 and the various administrations that we have had, and a particular pattern of maybe politicians crisscrossing from one political party to the other, new governments coming into power. At some point, it was, the 16 years of the PDP did this to Nigeria. Now we are going to another 16 years, and this is the major opposition political party, was the major opposition political party at the time, and it would appear like it has even worsened or there's no difference. And that's why many people say, all these our politicians, then be the same. All of them, no matter who even entered there, nothing go change. And Deji has said that you have, more bad people
than the good ones. So, I mean, do we just continue with the circle and say, now like this it go be, or the good ones would one day outshine the bad ones?
So it's a good question, and I agree that we have good people. We have good people. There's nowhere where you say everybody is bad. And so in our political space, yes, we have good people. But in addition to the fact that we have very many bad people who overwhelm the good people, it's also the case that a lot of the time, the good people come in, I would say, appointed rather than elected offices. And so what that means is that very often they are playing within a restricted field. And the real institutional decisions that have long-standing impact are not taken by them. That's why you see somebody, he mentioned Doherty, people will talk about Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. You will always see good people, they will come. They will work very hard for 4 years as minister or 8 years, and they will go. And things will not change fundamentally for the better. Because they are operating within a sandbox that's given to them by the people in elective office. So what needs to happen is that you need to have more people of that ilk who are willing to step out to seek elective office. And then you need people to rally behind them and support them. Because a lot of the time, what you see is when you see people like that step forward, others will stand back and be looking and say, let's see if anything will come of this, right? But you have to support them. You have to support them. And the more we find, and the more we gather together, and the more we come together as people of a like mind, people will rally around us and say, okay, it looks like something is beginning to build here. Maybe we can support this. And then we gather momentum, and then we move, and then we succeed. What we must never do is lose hope. And what we must never do is give up. Because the forces on the other side, that's what they want. That is what they want. And nobody ever hands this thing to you. We have to take it, and we have to be persistent, and we have to be diligent, and we have to be as hungry for it as they are.
Interesting. So it's good that we have started on this footing. The fact that we have established that bad people dey, but good people dey. And it is for the good people to present themselves to run, and for people to also support these good people. Because it's a matter of choice. If the good people present themselves, you not support them, no problem. This same country, Baba Gani, if I were him, one person when people they respect present himself to run for president, some go laugh at the outcome of the election. So he even may say, we as a people, problem
I was about
there.
asking the same question.
But let me ask another question before we now, move into other areas, because there are bad people, there are good people, and there's also the system.
Yeah.
Nigeria as a system, if I can liken it to that, is it designed
To work.
the political system now? Is it designed to allow good people come in and work? Or it is structured in a way that no matter how good these people are, the output would not be good. And I know that a couple of legal luminaries have looked at the 1999 Constitution and they have said that as a document, it doesn't meet the requirements and it will continue to fail Nigerians. So I will just leave that and then allow you take it up from there.
Yeah, so basically, the system is designed to favor bad people. Any system that is centered around money cannot never be a good system, especially politically speaking. And the reason why I'm saying this is because during the US presidential election, I said something very humorous, indeed, that was trending all over the place. And I said, INEC can still save the day for Kamala.
Yeah, so that's...
And that all INEC needs to do is just to switch off the server, falsify the result on IRF, and Kamala will be sworn in. That's what goes on here. Because the system is programmed in such a way that it is bad people that wins. No matter how hard you fight. He talked about appointed people. How can you have a nation where this government said they've saved 20 trillion naira from subsidy?
Yes.
But they are going to borrow 2 trillion.
Why not take from inside the 20
that
trillion?
You saved.
It will be remaining 18 trillion.
My brother Nedu, maybe many of us no go school. Okay, if you save 20 trillion from subsidy removal, after all, the money is not with Akpabio. Neither is it with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The money must be somewhere. Let's borrow from it. Why are we now embarrassing the country to go and be borrowing externally?
Maybe they don't want to touch that one.
Okay, maybe they don't want to touch that money. Maybe they keep on for rainy day, Abi. It's possible. Because I don't understand. So that is on one hand. On the second hand, about the issue of the constitution. Of course, our laws, majority of our laws are colonial laws, adopted by the military. They regurgitated the laws and just threw it back at the citizenry. Look, case study of India. India has developed jurisprudentially to the point that, the chapter 2 of our constitution is the most important chapter. This chapter talks about right to education, equality of opportunities, industrialization, employment, labor-related issues. This issue that Dangote is doing by always going for monopoly, chapter 2 has spoken about it, that you cannot operate a country that favors one person, where all you keep giving is, you give Dangote half the price in dollar to build this refinery. You use taxpayers' money to also give him the money to build this refinery. Why should you, as you are giving Dangote, you should be giving another person who is an Igbo person the same equal opportunity. The Constitution has taken care of all this. But that chapter of our Constitution, chapter 2, is what the courts have said is non-justiciable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that those chapters, it does not matter. But India has been able to justify, to make his own chapter 2 justiciable by deepening his jurisprudence. So, and look at all these archaic laws. Over 200 archaic laws in India has been phased out, colonial laws, because these laws are colonial in nature. So, for instance, why should Burna Boy arrest Pete Darlington with police? After all, it was not the government that Burna Boy insulted, that Pete Darlington insulted. Assuming without considering that Pete Darlington even insults the government, why should police be involved? This is a civil wrong against an individual.
Yes.
The remedies, even if Pete Darlington is arraigned before the court, the Supreme Court have several in a plethora of cases said that the remedies that will be accruable to Burna are personal in nature. Why should your money and his money and my money be used to prosecute Pete Darlington over the ego of Burna Boy? Do you understand the irony that we are running, that we call a country? So these are some of the issues why our laws They must be forward-looking, not backward-looking as we currently have it. Again, using India, Singapore, and other developed jurisprudential nations, while we must sincerely focus on laws that are democratic in nature. The reason why many nations of the world have advanced is because they have removed laws that are anti-progressives and brought positive laws. And how do I mean by positive laws? Very simple. For instance, if Burna Boy were to be defamed, allegedly, in the US or in the UK or in any part of Europe or in any civilized society, will he use police to arrest Speed Darlington?
What would you do?
He will sue him for
normally.
defamation.
Okay.
He will sue him because the idea of suing someone that you feel has slighted you, has spoilt your name, has defamed you allegedly, is that when you sue them, the law restores you back to the original position that you were before you were defamed. Because the idea is that, thinking members of the society have now they are looking at me in a different way. That, so this guy is like this. And that I've lost revenue. I've lost goodwill. He has tarnished my name, my reputation. So, but you don't go and, because you're a big man, mobilize 50 mobile policemen, men that should be chasing bandits in Zamfara, men that should be chasing armed robbers, men that should be chasing... Do you know how many people are raped in Nigeria on a daily basis? Do you know how many people are kidnapped? So the resource that should have been used to chase criminals, you are using it to chase people who are engaged in an ego war.
Interesting. So this is where we are. A system that is defective, that does not even give opportunity for even the good people who come out to try to succeed. Is there anything that can be done about it?
Well, yes. I mean, I think that, first of all, I agree with my brother. He's a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. There are many things that we need to fix in our laws, right? And people have talked about the Constitution. I think also even the laws that we have, right? We do not enforce those laws.
Yes.
So, and sometimes government itself is the biggest culprit of disregarding laws that the government itself promulgated. And very often, they do it with impunity,
So much.
and nobody holds them to account. And that is part of what we can do, right? Because citizens can rise up and say, this law was violated, and go to court on that matter. That a law was violated here. It has impacted me in so and so and so way. And so I institute a matter in court. We currently have a matter like that as we speak, where we believe government has taken an action that is inconsistent with about 2 or 3 laws, illegal, actually unlawful in our view, and we have sued. And that case is in court. We'll have the hearing in January. So there are things we can do. Some may argue that the judiciary, will you get what you want out of it and all of that? Yeah, but we cannot sit at home and say we're not going to try. You go. Who knows? You might meet a judge that is courageous, who will give a decision in your favor. You have to pursue that. You have to. You cannot sit down at home and say you're not going to do it. That's number one. Number two is that, you see, there's a will, a collective will of the people that is a very powerful force. Even in matters of election that we talk about, where we say there's ability to write elections and all of that. My view about it is that thing only operates within certain limits. If there is an overwhelming will of the people in a particular direction, a lot of the things that we're talking about today cannot stand. They cannot stand. How many are we in Lagos? Take Lagos, for example. They say we are 20 to 30 million people. They say we have registered voters in Lagos, about 7 million. The total number of people that voted in the last election is about 1 million. It's about 1 million. Imagine if 6 million people came out on that day. And they are mostly of one mind that this is what we want. Do you think it's going to be easy for somebody to overturn that? It's not going to be easy. But if it's 1 million people that turn up, of which 400,000 are dedicated to the incumbent, the rest are here and there and can be swayed one way or the other.
With Maggie.
It becomes a marginal contest. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if the will of the people are strong in a particular way, that thing cannot be overcome. It cannot be overcome. So that is another area of strength that we have that I think maybe we have not fully maximized. And it goes back to this idea of, people not being not being resigned that there's nothing we can do, because that's part of the issue. That's why they don't come out on the day. Yes, we know that there's suppression and all those kinds of things, those are real issues. Mm-hmm. Again, it is easier to suppress if there are only 1 million of you trying to come out. If there are 5 or 6 million of you trying to come out, it is very difficult to suppress. There are 245 wards in Lagos State alone, 10,000 polling units. If 5 million or 6 million people come out, it is difficult to overwhelm it. So all of these things structurally, with respect to laws and all that, we have to do. But when the system is not working the way you want it to work, the will of the people provides a strength that is over and above even the laws themselves.
Do you think the system will ever be at the point where it's going to decide, okay, let's make this work? Because you're saying something in the first point that you made, that there's a suit in the court in the courts that you people are going to be going in January, against the government, I suppose. Yeah. But couple of times I don't see different people they carry government to go court. E.g. Sarap.
Nobody sue Rich Sarap.
Nobody sue Rich Sarap. We are suing you for this one. We are suing you for this one. Yet nothing comes out of it. And you also understand the fact that he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
They will even tell you go to court.
Go to court. Mm-hmm. And nothing is going to happen. Who they fund the judiciary? How many people they release Jeep give the judges? Who they do this one?
Build quarters for them.
Build quarters for them. See, sir, let me say this. We the people, we have lost hope.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm going to say it the way it is. The hope, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, in the last election, everybody came out. Mm-hmm. I'm a vote. Mm-hmm. People that came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you get me? Mm-hmm. Because plenty people still there for house will not come outside. Some na social media them. The truth is, if everybody will go by social media, come outside, the election probably.
Now I'm at the talk now. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's easier for the negative forces to prevail if there's only 1 million people. If there's 4 or 5 million people, it is very difficult. It is very difficult. Some will argue with you that, if you look at the Buhari election, right? The Buhari election was not an incumbent government, but there was an incumbent government in place. You would not think that an incumbent government like that would be overcome, right? But there was a popular will. Whether it was misguided or not is something we can sit down here today and we can argue.
Yes.
But there was a popular will that could not be overcome by the forces that were in place. Mm. They had federal might. They had all the resources, right? But the people were determined that this is where we are going, right? So they couldn't overwhelm it. See, this very attitude, I know it's difficult, particularly when you've gone through processes like this, to say, look, we are tired, we've given up and all of that. But what you have to remember is that is exactly
what they want.
But they also frustrate people by keeping the voters card. Because I remember during the election, there were some voters cards that were found in the bush.
Yeah.
Like, that one also contributes to
disenfranchisement.
No, we know there are a lot of shortcomings in the electoral process. But, if a process is perfect, then maybe the work you have to do to get your way may be small. But if a process is flawed, then the work you have to do, you just have to know that the work you have to do is a lot. And it is true, but we have to do it. Nobody's going to hand it to us. That's the truth. So either we sit down here and continue discussing.
I have gotten to the point of Nedu that there's no hope. That's the point I've gotten to, that there's no hope. That this idea of always giving ourselves confidence or hope, that we're just in a fool's paradise, we're just encouraging ourselves, we're trying to be positive. Our parents did this now. Been at this since 1960 something.
Understand?
Do you know Nigeria go better, Nigeria go better? Since 1960 something, they sing this song now.
Yes.
But now we're in 2024, for God's sake. We are still in this studio singing Nigeria go better. So which day this country go better? Like this issue of INEC that has been raised. I have come to INEC is a political party. And the current INEC is APC. Everybody in INEC knows this, including the chairman, Mahmoud. If you give INEC this water, they will turn on to wine. There's nothing INEC cannot do. What INEC cannot do does not exist. And they tell you. And that's why I have reached the point that I have said that let us agree that INEC is a political party. This idea of independent, let's remove it from their name. Let's just call them
Electoral Commission.
No, National Electoral Commission, NEC. Like the way we used to call them before. So now, when we call them that, we remove the independent, because they are not independent. Even they, Mr. Chairman, are you independent? They know now, say they know they're independent. They know. So not be saying an allegation. This one a statement of fact. Make we know they disguise this. I took Professor Rufus to court. We are still in court. She's an APC card carrying member from Bayelsa. She's a national commissioner in INEC. I can tell you that almost all the national commissioner, almost all, I'm not saying all, are card carrying members of APC.
Even the one in Edo State.
What are you talking about? That one is Wike's cousin, the person that just conducted that election in Edo. Is Wike. Do you imagine somebody that is Wike's cousin will conduct a credible election? Wike's cousin is the one that conducted that election in Edo, where they changed results on IREV. So let us agree that INEC is partisan. Now, to have a credible election with a partisan umpire, this is how to do it. So you tell PDP to bring 10 people to make national commissioners. You tell APC to bring 10 people to make national commissioner. You tell Labour Party to bring 10 people to make national commissioner. When you get the 30 of them, you now tell the president, among these 30, you have the decision to make one of the national chairman. Make we see how INEC won the election for Nigeria.
But INEC will see know all of them now.
What we are saying,
they talk from, you bring people from different
when you bring political party stakeholders, because we are just in a fool's paradise, we are deceiving ourselves. INEC is not independent. INEC is a political party. So when you bring critical stakeholders from each of the political parties to form the leadership of INEC, you can no longer rig any election. Because the person representing Labour Party will not agree.
Yes.
The person representing PDP will not agree. The person representing APC will not agree. This is the only way to conduct credible election.
But even if they
and also, you do the same for the 36 states. So, the leadership of the National Electoral Commission, NEC, we comprise of, because, see, as long as politicians are the ones nominating these people, and this problem we're having in INEC is also the judiciary problem that you were just talking about now, where politicians, look at EFCC now, they won't catch Yabelo. The Yabelo don't already know before they reach in house. Because go and look at the recruitment process on EFCC in the last 10 years. While I must commend the current chairman, I have nothing against them. But go and look at how they've been recruiting people. It is politician, now senator, honorable member, now then they bring list.
slot
of people where they appoint to. How do you want to fight corruption, but you are appointing politically exposed persons to head EFCC, politically exposed persons to be judges. Do you know why they said in court you cannot record court proceeding? Because they don't want you to show the face of the judge. So that make husband material no run into supermarket tomorrow, see my lord. You say, not be justice, so, not be justice, no be this. My lord, I have one matter before you. My lord, please help me. He's my husband, no. Don't jail my... So that is why, see, judges are supposed to be sacred beings. They are terrestrial. You cannot just be interacting with them. So when you have judges who are wives to known politicians, husband to known politicians, this political party, honorable minister go come see the husband when a politician for evening. Now, my lord, they cook, they serve food.
But you said we should, that if you put this political party, build a political party, this person, one person must shout. But during the election, I remember Dino Melaye shouting, "No, we are not going to." What did if I get it right, they say
he's not a stakeholder. It's like see. Let me paint a more vivid picture so that we can solve some of our political problems, because this platform is so credible that it's not just for highlighting inadequacies of government.
Yes.
It's to profile solutions. Because some of them say, "Oh, all we do is criticize." Now we are offering solutions to the country's plethora of problems.
Yes.
When you bring critical stakeholders from various political parties, there will be check and balance within the INEC. When you bring, if for instance, if we want to say, "Oh, we want to be appointing politically exposed persons as judges," then let's do it across board. Let's give everybody, you say PDP, bring 10 people, let's appoint them into the judiciary. APC, bring 10 people, let's appoint them into judiciary. Labour Party, bring 10. So that let's know that these people are partisan people. So that there will be, the idea, the concept of judicial independence as canvassed by proponents and scholars is that the judiciary must be immune from executive interference, legislative interference, and interference from private persons. Once there is somebody that is directing the judiciary, and that is why we condemn the situation where my lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, will be hosted to a dinner by the Lagos State Governor. Yes, we condemn it, because the Lagos State Governor is a litigant before the courts. It is an abuse on judicial independence. A situation where the Minister of FCT will be building houses for judges. Are you telling me that the judiciary, they have a budget?
He's building houses for judges.
Yes. Are you telling me that the judiciary does not have budget? The judiciary have budget. If the judiciary are in need of houses, they can build for themselves. If the judiciary are in need of cars, they can buy for themselves. So you don't need anybody to entice them. And you now go and take land from somebody to build houses for judges. The law is very clear. The law says you can only take land from somebody overriding public interest. How does building houses for judges become overriding public interest? If you want to build a road for the people, you can go and take somebody's land. If you want to build a train, if you want to build a hospital, a school, you can't go and take people's land to build home for judges. So our society must be built on values. Values that we can teach our children. Values that we can teach people in law school. Values we can teach students in the universities, in the law faculties, and that they will say, yes, indeed, truly, this is a nation. This is a nation of ideals. This is a nation of laws. This is a nation that respects rule of law. This is a nation that respects the letters and the fine prints of our laws. The laws are there. The laws are there that judicial officers must not mingle with politicians, must not mingle with private persons, must not receive gifts from politicians or private. The laws are there. Building a house, a politician building a house for judges is gift.
Gift, yes. But this dinner, Ezinne, don't be angry, my love. This dinner that the governor is hosting
CJN.
The CJN, and I know there's a case in court recently with the governor. Could it be that maybe they have a personal relationship aside? I'm just saying.
You know, I don't know. But you know, there's what they call conflict of interest. There is actual conflict of interest. There's perceived conflict of interest. And in many of these things, perception is as good as reality.
Exactly.
So you have to be not just do, but be seen to be above. So some of the argument that he's making is that this is not seemly, even if it's not everything that is.
Yes.
What is it? Yeah. What does the Bible put it? It's not everything that is.
The code of conduct for judicial officers,
sir. You know that. Yeah.
The code of conduct for judicial officers calls this impropriety.
Impropriety.
Or any act that may appear improper, that it does not even have to be a wrong thing. That once the public perceives it, that this should not get us. You shouldn't be mixing. So sorry for interjecting.
Yeah. So the whole notion of conflict is the perception is there. Look, at the end of the day, right? my sense is that on some of these things, it's not as if the laws do not exist. There are laws. Our laws, we have, as far as criminal matters, as far as things that, even things like conflict of interest in serving public officers. If you go and look at the code of conduct for public officers, you'll be amazed how thorough it is in what they should do and what they should not do. You'll be amazed. But those things are not followed, they are not enforced. And it's part of the idea that those who are in seats of authority, who are making the decisions, it's when they say when a fish rots, it rots from the head, right? So if the leadership is not taking setting example, that these are the boundaries of what we are going to accept, these are the boundaries of what we are not going to accept. How many people have been prosecuted, for going outside the code of conduct of serving public officers? How many people have been prosecuted for corruption in the public service? How many? How many can you point to? So if you don't have a culture that says, this is what is acceptable, this is what is not acceptable. If you do what is not acceptable, you are going to be prosecuted and we're going to hold you to account. You will go to jail. And don't just say it, do it.
Do it.
You'll be amazed that if you have an administration where that is done, 2 terms, 8 years, the place you will live at the end of 8 years will be very different from the place you met when you came in.
So, you ran during the election,
Yes.
you ran to be governor of Lagos State. And since I knew Lagos State, I came for youth service here 2015. Since I knew Lagos State, even before I came, I knew that it's been an APC state. So, and recently, there was news going around, rumors going around.
No be rumors. They come out to
Okay.
youth group.
Yes, came out to say that, it's Sheyi Tinubu that
Let me help you say it properly. You are not saying it properly. Let me help you say it. What you are trying to say is that they said they want to move from Emilokon to Sheyi Lokon.
So they say, according to you, that they want to move to Sheyi Lekon. Now, Abi Lokon. I'm asking, is it that easy to get this government change of hands? Is it that easy? Do you think? Because you've been preaching hope here.
No, see, and I will continue to preach hope because, without hope, we have nothing. But look,
And for me, it's the hopes that kills.
I'm on the same page with you,
it's not. See, it's not the hope that.
Have you seen an Arsenal fan?
Please now. Not today now. Please. Why are you laughing? What's funny? Please allow him to say what he wants to say.
See.
That's it now.
You see, can it be easy? It cannot be easy.
Do you ever see it happening?
How can it will happen? There's nothing that, you see, when something is going to change, right? It's one day it will change. It can be there 50 years, but the day it's going to change is one day it will change, right? And the things that will make it change will make it change. Look, this thing you are talking about, when I came out and said that I was going to enter the race in the last election, what I said was that APC's dominance in Lagos is a myth, right? That yes, you may look at them as dominant, but look at the actual numbers that we are talking about. Most people did not believe it was, but in the presidential election, APC lost Lagos. In the INEC declared result.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
In the INEC declared result, APC lost Lagos. We can't argue with that one now. It is the fact. If you go and look at INEC website today, you will see it. You see what I mean? Some argue that if the governorship election had been held on that same day, they would have lost Lagos.
No, I think so.
Isn't it? Some argue that. We don't know. Right? So it's when we look at things as if it can never be, where we give up and all of that. These guys will never give up. So it will never be easy. And they have a kind of financial incentive that you who are going there to do the right thing will not have. Because for them it's a business. is commercial interest. Do you understand? And because it's commercial interest, they are not standing alone. There are many people who are co-investors. Do you understand? There are many people who are co-investors in that enterprise to seize the system and hold the system, right? But but you see, that system is built on exclusion because it's built on extraction. You know, I talk of extractive model of governance and inclusive model of governance. That system is like think of it as a reincarnation of colonialism, right? It's like a homebred colonialism where you are extracting resources. And where are the resources coming from? The resources are coming from the people. Oh.
Yeah.
The resources are coming from the people, the average people. And the whole process of governance is essentially concentrating these resources into the hands of a small group of people. By definition, that process hurts more people than it helps.
The people save the day.
By definition. So the number of people who, if they wanted to express their view, right, far outweighs the people that are benefiting from the system. So it's fundamentally an unstable system, right? But they've taken control of the system. So we have to then organize ourselves. We have to organize ourselves to upturn that thing. It's like you are using 10% to control 90%. We have to upturn it. So when you look at someone like me sitting down here and saying, we must not stop, we must not stop, we must go, right? It's because I know that what it will take is not as much as most people believe.
I would want to, sir, with all due respect, though, I want to believe you. Because the truth is, these people, they have taken it to the point where for you to even, you gotta take that English way he talk, say like colonialism. This one gets his own boy, that one gets his own boy, that one gets his own boy. Now in boy he go put to become this minister. Now in boy he go become this one. Now in boy, like in different states now. I can tell you for free. Again, why I tell you the other day, one state. No, let's not talk about it. In different states, they don't get person who go be next governor as we speak.
In the next 8 years.
In the next 8 years, they have it already. And they have the whole system mechanism prepared already, set out. In fact, get some. Do I discuss with them? The process is supposed to start immediately.
After one election.
Yeah.
They be without working for the people, they don't start already.
So, Deji, the question I'm asking is, the people where Oga they talk, sir, we need to come out. Are the people even ready? Are we even, because I keep saying, we are not tired, man. We never vex rich.
That's the point.
We never vex rich.
Yes. You see, the people are the leaders are a byproduct of the people. You know, so you see the reflection of the people in the leaders. When somebody becomes governor and he's doing a broadcast and insulting the whole state, like Nyesom Wike does. When he was governor of Rivers, he was just insulting Rivers people. I will do this, you cannot do this. So he has come to the FCT. He's demolishing people's houses without any justification, without due process of law. The law says before you demolish anybody's house, there's a tribunal that has been set up by law. He does not follow due process of law. All you see is that you just see bulldozer while you are sleeping. They'll bring down your house. He has done it in Sabon Lugbe, in Ruga. He's just land grabbing people's homes. And what he's telling people is that, his president I said he need land. Yes. There's a saying when Tinubu was here that he was selling the whole of Lagos for himself. So they want to replicate that now in Abuja. So that is what he goes around telling people that his president that say he needs this land. President say he needs this other land. President say he needs this other land. They've demolished more than 3,000 people's homes. Then, in Sabolugbe, they demolished over 200 hectares of land. You know what is 200 hectares of land? Do you know what that means? So you see a reflection of the people. And the reason why they fight, like my brother has said, is the reason why they fight is because of the resources that is involved. For instance, you will discover a situation where that they don't care about the people. It's just about money.
Yes.
It's about land. It's about grabbing.
Yes.
It's about, everything is about self. You think that Wike is fighting Sim Fubara because he cares about Rivers State? It's not because he cares about Rivers State. It's because of the resources. It's in Rivers. Rivers has money. That's why they are fighting. It's not because of ideology, political ideology, or any difference. Listen, Wike was declaring 11 billion IGR over a year ago. Sim Fubara is declaring 27 billion now, and you say they should not fight.
Jesus.
So it means that somebody was stealing the rest of the money all these years. That's what it means. That somebody was stealing all that money.
Hey.
And you say that they should not go to court. They should not do all this embarrassment of our judiciary that they are doing. You think it's about Sim Fubara and Wike? It's because of the money. Okay, what is the scientific miracle that in a space of 1 year plus, somebody was declaring 11 billion per month and somebody now declares 27 billion? There's no miracle. There's no scientific miracle to prove that level of generation of wealth.
Half.
Yes, somebody was stealing more than half of his state resources for years.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So these are the things that are at stake. See, there's a contractor that Wike arrested in the FCT. So he owes these contractors about 5-point-something billion. Some of them are poor people who just did job in the FCDA before he came. So in total, 5-point-something billion is what he was owing them. So this contractor, I think he was owing them maybe small money. Some of the contractors, they owe them 300,000, 400,000 because they just did supply. You know, you supply the contract with your money, and after you now government pays it. So the contractor sent him a message. I cannot feed my family. My children are sick. Blah, blah. After the contractor sent him a message begging him, he now forwarded the message to, I think, either the police, either one AIG or IG, I don't know. They went to arrest the contractor. They didn't see him. They arrested his wife.
Chimo.
And took her to SARS abattoir in Guzape in Abuja.
Jesus.
She was spent some time there. So they now subsequently called the man. Got the wife to call the man. The woman now called the man and said, "Oh, they've arrested me." They tricked him and said that I bought a stolen phone. That phone you bought for me is a stolen phone. He said, the husband said, "Where are you?" He said, "I'm in SARS in Guzape." Immediately he came, they just babbed him and released his wife. The man spent, I think, 10 days in detention or so. The man contacted us after he saw my fracas with Nyesom Wike.
Yes.
Came to our office to brief her and tell us that they subsequently took the man to Wike. Wike demanded that when they arrested him, they should bring him.
Ha!
There's nothing he didn't say or insult the man. You are a bastard. You will go to jail. What kind of a country is this? The man was subsequently charged to court for insulting minister.
Insulting minister.
Yes. You are owing the man. Do you know who Nyesom Wike is? Do you know who Nyesom Wike is? You are owing the man. The man sent you a message begging you to pay him. So this is how they treat people. And yes, Nigerians generally, it's not just about the leaders. Nigerians are oppressive by nature.
True.
Yes.
Oppressive by nature. Once they get small thing, look at Burna Boy now. Look at what he's doing to Speed Darlington. It's not just about Burna. It's about anybody that has any form of influence. Immediately they get money. They first go to their village meeting.
Collect more title.
They go there. They don't go there normal. They go with escorts. They buy a big car. Get some policemen to follow them behind. They want to show that now they have arrived. So Nigerians are oppressive by nature. So their leaders cannot be different from them.
So we should not be looking for what we don't have in them.
Yes.
You know what I wanted to say to follow up with what you said. Recently, the Ebonyi State governor arrested 6 people in the Ministry of Health for theft.
Yes.
Now, my question is, what can we do question? Because a bad citizen is going to be a bad politician.
Leader. Yes.
Nobody was born and they named the person politician or bad politician. You were once a citizen and you grew and then you went to be voted in and you got voted, which means you were already a bad person. So it's a what can we do question. How are we going to get, because we are saying politicians are bad, but you in your little space.
Right.
Yes, because I remember when I was in the university, if you go see secretary for departmental secretary is already telling you to shift one side and you know what to do.
Yeah. See, very simple. What can we do? We must stop being oppressors. We must stop being bad citizens. We must stop being bad people. Look at, I hate to mention Bonner's name. Bonner sings against oppression, for God's sake. Why are you oppressing this speed-darling young poor guy? After all, you say you're an African giant. Why are you oppressing a mosquito? So I hate to make, but the message is passed more deeply when you use examples. You use people to make the examples, because. And if I do it tomorrow, I want to be criticized for doing it. If I oppress anybody, I want to be criticized. I want to be held accountable for doing so. So it's about, yes, those Ebonyi people, they've been thieves all along. They're just looking for that. I think I've said this before, that the thieves outside government on the queue are more than the thieves in government.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that you see, those people who are on the queue waiting to steal, they are the real problem of Nigeria. They are the ones that they put the thieves in government under more pressure. Is it not the permanent secretaries and the civil servant that tell the politician, this is where the money is, this is how to steal government money? They are the ones that teach the politicians how to steal money.
You're right. But in addition to what you've said, it's not even just those in the civil service. Anytime you see corruption in government, usually there's a private sector entity that is involved, right? Because there's somebody on the other side that they are doing a contract with, or that they are entering into an arrangement with. So let's not say it's only government, it's in the private sector too. But I will also say that whilst we have bad people, we have corrupt people and all of that, people who are oppressive and so on, we also have good people. Because there's a generosity of spirit that we also have. Yeah. And in any community, whether it's a traditional community, whether it's a company, whether it's your local business, whether it's your church, whether it's whatever it is, you can look among the people and pick out, this man is a good man. This man, there's question mark about him. You see what I mean?
True.
And that's the reality. There are people who are not suited for leadership. Not everybody is suited for leadership. Leadership is a responsibility. It's a public trust. If you want to trust somebody, it's not everybody that you trust somebody with.
Yes.
You know, that the kinds of people that you trust something with. And leadership is the highest level of trust. Because you're entrusting them with power. You're entrusting them with power over people's lives, over people's resources, the way to make laws and all those kinds of things. So it's a huge trust, right? So not everybody is suited for that trust. And so the choice of who ends up in those offices is tremendously important. Part of the problem that we have is that when you see election season coming, and maybe it's a problem of enlightenment, I don't know what. When you see election season coming, see, now we are having discussion, isn't it? This is it's an enlightened forum. But anywhere you go now, people will be having discussion, they'll be discussing issues, the economy is bad, this and that, this and that, discussing issues. You hear people talking about Dangote, you hear people talking about refinery. Now, let it be 6 months to election, 3 months to election. It will be like jamboree everywhere. It will be like jamboree, tribe, religion. They will do rally. The first thing you'll be hearing in rally is music.
Belong to Yoruba people.
The first thing you'll be hearing in rally is music, right? You'll be dancing. The whole thing is like a party atmosphere. You see what I mean? So there's, and that is the time we should be thinking about, who is suited to be in this office? Who is suited to be in this office? Because you cannot, they say you cannot give what you don't have. Right? So if you don't have that leadership quality that says, look, my being in this seat is because people put me here. And I am responsible for the lives of so many people. Right? I am not here to aggrandize myself, because it's not as if I came here to succeed. Do you see what I mean? I'm looking for a place to bring the capacities that I have to serve for the benefit of the people, because I think that where we are is very far away from where we ought to be. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that is the kind of person that should be in that seat. So our job is, because you see, why is this thing so important in Nigeria? You may say it is not so important in America because the institutions are there.
Yeah.
And the institutions work.
Yes.
Do you understand? Some people will argue Trump is a bit of a wild card and all of that. But in his first 4 years, the system caged him.
Yeah.
Even now that he has come there, we know that there are things he can do and there are things he cannot do. Right? So it is more important here because our institutions have not reached that level. So the individual becomes very important. It's not ideal, but it's true. So you have to be very careful, the individual that you put in that position.
Sir,
The individual that you put in the position, sorry, Tom. The individual that you put in the position, sir,
Okay, let me just.
in former government, I will say it. The individual that will put in the position, I know what I'm saying. The former government is a general is a general knowledge that everybody know.
Yes.
The former vice president. So the president traveled and put the former vice president in charge. He was there for how many weeks? And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Everybody started noticing that he's like,
abrupt.
Sack the DG of SSS.
sack the job and say that things are working. Immediately president came back by like this. Bah! Baba just went on sabbatical leave till tomorrow.
You'll be the vice president.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you are making the same point now. You are making the point. You see, you don't elect a vice president, you elect a president. You don't forget about it. Anywhere in the world, you elect a president. And more so in Nigeria. Because if you know the power that's in the presidency in Nigeria, nobody has it. Nobody has it. And because our institutions are weak, right? Talk less of where we are now. Where we say by design, we get 3 arms of government, isn't it? Executive day, legislative day, judiciary day.
Sharing.
And they're supposed to serve as check and balance on one another. Isn't it? Have you seen an administration that is more unified behind the executive than this present one?
No.
Is there anything that will go to that legislation that they'll turn back? Is there anything?
Nothing.
Sir, I've been listening to you speak and I'm quite intrigued. Yeah. So I'm wondering, no, actually I'm curious. During your election, during your campaign, you said something about reforming Lagos. And I would like to know, if you had won, what would your first 100 days be like?
See, there are, if you look at Lagos, one of the things that you see is that there's this notion that the state has been captured in a sense, right? So there's a sense that even though we've had 30 years, right, with different governors, that pretty much it's been under the same administration, right?
Right.
So some of the vestiges of that system would have been one of the first things that I would have attacked. So for example, you must have heard of Alpha Beta.
Yeah, for better the dustbin.
Yeah.
Not the dustbin, no. These are the people where they collect.
But I think the pack dustbin, no.
No. This is the revenue of the state.
Oh,
that
yeah,
gets,
Sams. Hey,
yes.
wow, forgive me.
So, and I said it before my election, I would unwind that thing,
Alphabet.
right? Because this is the conflict of interest that we are talking about. Because the common knowledge out there is that entity, that there are individuals within the government that are benefiting from that entity, which has an unprecedented contract to take 10% or so of the state's revenue.
Yeah.
It's unconscionable. So in the first place, it's a basic conflict. You remove those things. Then one of the things that was central to my theme at the time was government reform. We will reform government. So these things that I'm telling you about, we will do them. In other words, if you are in government and you are corrupt, we will prosecute you. We will prosecute you. We will take you to the courts. If the courts find you guilty, you will go to jail. We will insist that people who are in government do the work that they are supposed to do. We will pay them. You know, it's like we will bring the best of private sector. You see, if you establish a business today, you pay your people, you expect them to do the work. You don't expect them to cheat you. If they cheat you, what are you going to do?
You definitely take action.
There's no reason why that should not be in government. There's no reason why that should not be in government. And it can be done. And it's the person who is in the seat that determines whether it's going to be done or it's not going to be done. So when you put your foot down and you ensure that that is done, it is done. There are many other things that are in the realm of policy and all of that, which I can go into in detail, but I'm not sure that's the purpose for the show. But I will just highlight it. You see, after 30 years is a generation. It's a generation. Countries have gone from third world to first world in 30 years, isn't it?
Right.
Singapore achieved what they achieved in 30 years. Now, we have been under one administration for 30 years. In Lagos, we don't have water after 30 years.
And it is the city of aquatic splendor.
Do you see what I mean? It's something as basic as that, right? So when you ask yourself, after 30 years, right? When you think about the revenues that Lagos has burnt through in those 30 years, right? When you think about the main purpose of government, which is the quality of life of the people, whether you measure it by things like water, whether you measure it by things like education, whether you measure it by things like quality of healthcare, right? All those basics, whether it's housing, whether it's transportation, when you measure all of those things, right? After 30 years, if you had to do a report card and say, what is the quality of people's lives after a generation of resources deployed? I'm sure if you give 10 people that survey to answer, 9 people will give you an answer that they are worse off probably.
Yeah.
In real terms, in terms of their quality of life, right? Than a generation ago. And that is how you have to measure. That is how you have to measure the impact of government, not about whether there's an Ikoyi Lekki link bridge. Do you understand? Because someone is, you just throw money, you build a bridge. But are people's lives better? Are people living a higher quality of life? Right? I will just close by linking this to what I said about extractive versus inclusive governance. What has happened over those 30 years is that an extractive model has been deployed throughout those 30 years. And the poor have gotten poorer. The rich have gotten richer. Society's wealth has become more concentrated, right? And there's no way in the world where that drives long-term prosperity. The way long-term prosperity is built is actually the opposite, where you invest in...
That is commonwealth.
Yes, you invest in the people, and their own capacity becomes productive capacity that then drives their own and the societal prosperity. And then the entire thing is lifted, all boats are lifted, right? And that is what is sustainable. Extractive models only end up making certain people tremendously wealthy, impoverishing a large part of the population, and causing underdevelopment of the society. And if you think our situation today is very different from that, I'll be interested in hearing why.
Mr. Deji, you said something about abuse of power, you know, the Burna Boy situation. And it got me thinking, shouldn't there be consequences for being overtly, you know, it was overboard. We all know that after, because I was even telling my sister the other day, Darlington in a Bidokwala, he has started again. Later, his mother will come and say, I'm Darlington mother, I'm Darlington mother. I was telling my sister, he kept making videos, saying a lot of things about Burna Boy. Oh, telling Burna Boy not to come to his city. If you come to America, he kept saying a lot of things. Should there not be consequences for bad behavior? Should we just let people, because you can just, sue? And should there not be consequences for bad behavior?
Yeah, I think it was Immanuel Kant that said that by a lie, a man throws away his dignity. basically, two things make people.
Yeah, Mike.
Basically, two things make people, in my view, and leaders especially. And leaders, you can be leaders politically, you can be leaders in music industry, you can be leaders in your own right, in the academics, in art and culture, in whatever. Number one is a good head. And number two is a good heart. In this part of the world, we lack leaders that our leaders don't even have neither of them. They don't have a good head and they don't have a good heart. When you have a good head, you know that, oh, I need to do policy A, B, C, D. And when you have a good heart, you have empathy, you have compassion. You can feel the plight of the people that you're governing because they suffer. There's no rail line. Look at India, building rail lines almost every week. 200 rail lines. India opened 400 banks, 400,000 banks. 400,000 banks. Things that can move nations. 100,000 universities. So, yes, there should be consequences for bad behavior. But it falls down to character. The person, Burna Boy, he has said worse things to other people. I've seen him tweeting and saying bad things to people's mother.
Which people?
Yeah, online. I can show you screenshots. He has insulted Davido. He has insulted Whiskey. So he's not different from Akpiwa Mama. Character. It's about character. It's about core values. You want to hold up people to a higher standard. You want to criticize other people, but you don't want to be criticized. You know, this God complex that, how dare this guy call me out, you know. So for them, it's about, and it's not just a Burna Boy thing, it's a Nigerian thing. When Nigerians identify their Messiah, like we saw during the last election, if you criticize any of their Messiah, they come after you. For you. They wish you dead. So I think we need to stop this Messiah. You know, Nigerians are Messiah hunters.
Yes.
They are always looking. Look at
somebody that will save us.
Was this not how they fell into Buhari's hand in 2015? When we knew, all of us in this country knew Buhari's antecedent. There's nothing that Buhari came to do that we didn't know. We knew and we want people that, is it not the same Buhari? Abba. But today people are missing Buhari. Somebody told me that they say he's missing Buhari. I now told him, I said, come on, it's too early in the day. Wait till Tinubu finish growing this fraudulent GDP that he's growing. You know, Tinubu is growing GDP. They say he has grown the GDP, that the GDP is now so good.
They say our unemployment rate has dropped.
And they said the unemployment rate has dropped. And this is a country where 17 multinationals left. Businesses are closing. Abba. Nedu, what can politicians not rig? After all, they change results on IREV. What is ordinary GDP that they cannot grow? They can just put water like Jebugari. GDP will grow. And also the unemployment thing, come on. Abba. If they give people money and people line up people in body loan and share money, is that not a reduction of unemployment? Everything is improving. Come on. And if you complain, they say, you are just a bad loser. So these are the issues. This is a country where we doctor statistics. You know now, right? Osman Material, that we doctor
statistics. He knows
statistics.
everything. Ask him, he will know.
We doctor statistics in this part of the world. Believe me.
Are you part of them?
If somebody do ask him now, you will know.
So we doctor statistics in this part of the world. Nigeria is the only country where, if you ask Ministry of Health, what is the maternal rate, infant mortality, they don't know. They have no idea. Do you know why they don't have any idea? They buy more official cars in Ministry of Health than hospital equipment. Go and look at their budget. Money earmarked for official cars will be more than Ministry of Works. They buy more official car than caterpillars and everything that is needed for road. But go to China. They can construct 100-kilometer road in 48 hours in China. Serious-minded people. So, in finally answering that question, that it's more about, because you can say, that there should be consequence for bad behavior. Okay, if it is that, why doesn't he resort to violence and just put the man down like a dog? If there should be consequence for bad behavior. That is why I asked the rhetorical question that if he was defamed, in the US, whether he was defamed 200 times, 1,000
did
times,
you?
what will he do? Will he get the police to arrest the man?
But that's a consequence too. If he sues him, it's a consequence. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So the guy will think twice.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, I agree. I agree because I've said it here that he should be sued
Yeah.
for his actions, and if he does it again, he should be sued. But you don't. The first time you use police to harass him, they detain him for 4 days. You've done it again now. Why?
So if they keep suing him and he keeps doing it, doing the
Yes.
same thing that he has been doing,
Yes.
at
He
what
will
point
turn
do
to
they?
Susu.
At what point do they change?
You can't
Statistics.
change it because
You keep suing.
we know we can't change it because we have left that era of the strongest survive, that Tarzan era, the era where the man with the biggest hammer is the one that wins the fight. And after all, you yourself accusing people of defaming, you have defamed others before. Me, my position is very clear. And I seek to align myself with the position of the Supreme Court in Atonwako and the state, where the Supreme Court said those who are in public office or who are in the limelight, like politicians, musicians, that they must develop a tough skin.
Thick skin, yes.
Thick skin, like me.
Yeah.
There's no unprintable things people have not said about me. I don't even have the time to sue you because I'll be doing you a favor by suing you.
Crazy.
I want you to say more bad things about me because I have put myself out there. But that boy has left his comfort. He has put himself out there. People must critique him.
Yes.
People must insult him. President Tinubu is being called all sorts of names. Why is he not using police to arrest people? Why is he not harassing people? Why are they not locking up people for 4 days, 5 days, 6 days? The US president is the most insulted. Cartoonists, satirists, they make fun of him on a daily basis. Make fun of his wife, his children. So power, influence must be exercised with decency, with caution. And that is why we condemn people like that.
It's part of the
Political
character.
party.
It's part of the character of leadership. It's part of the character of leadership. You know, if they say, if you want to test a man,
Give him power.
give him power. That's when you know. It's not when you put him in a difficult situation and all that. No. Give him power, then you know the true mettle of a man. And I think, the point you make about when you put yourself forward for public office, you have to have a thick skin. It's very true. I mean, and you cannot be out there thinking that, well, what are people going to say about me? What are people going to... Because the people always have something to say about you, right? You have to lead with character. You have to lead with a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, and stand by your values. You have to stand by your values. Let me give you an example. This case that I said we have, it's on this coastal road.
Okay.
We sued the Bureau of Public Procurement and the Ministry of Environment and said that, look, you awarded that contract, which is a 2 trillion
due
contract,
process.
without competitive bidding. There's a law that says you can't do that. There's a
Yes.
public procurement law. There's also an Environmental Impact Assessment Act that says that you must do environmental impact
Feasibility
assessment
study.
before you start that project. We're in Lagos. Lagos is a city that is battling with flooding. I'm from Lagos. My family is from Lagos. People in Lagos Island. So we're not saying if you think this is the right thing to do, you should not do it. No, that's not what we are saying. If Executive Council comes, sit down and say, okay, what we need now is a coastal road. No problem. But go about it
The right
the
way.
right way. How can you award a 2 trillion contract? 2 trillion.
Good.
You just give it to somebody, say, go and do this. And the person we know the person that's
Is your friend.
Nah man, no man kind of deal.
Hey.
Right? If nobody does, who does that? Even if you're going to award like 10 million contracts in your company, you get 2 or 3 people say, okay, you, how much will you do? You, how much will you do it? Abi? So we said no. And we went, so we have an action in court to say that, that thing is wrong, right? Because at the same time, you are asking people, you raise petrol price, you remove exchange rate. People are struggling to eat. So you say you are doing that because you don't have money. Then you are issuing a 2 trillion contract without even checking whether that is the amount is supposed to be or it's not supposed to be. So we said no. But you can't win. Some people say, well, coastal road is good. Why are you challenging coastal road? This and that, this and that. You see, the principle that, there's a way It's not about whether the road is good or not. There's a way to go about it that has integrity, that has accountability, that will know that this 2 trillion of public money that you are spending, it is well spent. Then everybody will be fine. So those are the kinds of things where you should say you have certain values, you have to stand by them. And Nigeria will test you. Because when you put good people in offices, right, it is the forces around them that also, tend to sort of compromise them. So you need somebody who is going to stay there and stand and say it's part of the character of leadership.
Our people alone, Sev. There are 2 questions I want to ask: political party, and then the people. Off of what you just said, now we need people that. I remember, who was the minister that went to a government office and people come late? As people come late, I think it's the former Ebonyi State governor. People come late. I think he locked them outside. I can't remember whether the contest say, hey, you will see, we will go mess you up.
They said then go shut down the ministry.
They will shut down the ministry.
Make life unbearable for him.
I think later he apologized.
He was compelled to apologize.
Compelled to apologize. This now the people where suppose they tell you, sir, this is what you should do. Now the people now, you come late. The minister they tell you, say, you come late. You're not supposed to come late.
Yes, Nedu, you know why? Because he himself no get character. He know they always go late. They always go late to go work. That's why they fit tell him that kind of thing. You don't tell people what to do. You show them what to do. That is why they say leadership. Leadership is by example. See, it's like Adams Oshomole. You know Adams Oshomole has been saying that Godfatherism is bad, Godfatherism is bad, Godfatherism is bad. When he reached in turn, he wanted to become a godfather in Edo.
He's already a godfather.
No. I'm taking you down memory lane. Then his godson, former godson, now challenged him. Say, you are the one that told us that we should be challenging Godfather. You challenged Tony Anini. Say, I'm going to challenge you. So he challenged him and won. Now, he's back as a godfather. He has installed somebody.
Installation.
People without character. They don't have character. So you always see them like that. So, you see, children are masters at watching us, what we do. That's why your children, no matter what you tell them, they're not going to do it because it's only the things you show them that they do. Look at Nyesom Wike again. Sorry to come back to Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike kept saying that godfathers are bad people. You must not have a godfather. That whenever somebody wants to act God, you should challenge him. Then he became a godfather in Rivers and installed somebody. Not only did he install the guy, after installing the guy, he was the one that installed all the commissioners in Rivers State. All the commissioners, with no exception. All the House of Rep members, he was the one that installed them. SSG, he was the one that installed the SSG. Chief of Staff, he was the one that installed Chief of Staff. All the principal aides of the governor, he was the one that installed them. That was not good enough. Before the governor can spend any money above 5 million, he must get approval from him.
Yeah.
The governor said, what am I doing here? This man is on the 3rd term. Said, the governor grew some balls and said that he's going to challenge this man. So he said, henceforth, he told, because when he wants to spend money, the Minister of Finance said, I need to call Oga. The Minister, the Commissioner of Finance, he said, yes, I need to call Oga. I need to call Oga. So he will call Wike. Wike said, no mind them. No spend. Just ignore him. And that's what the Commissioner of Finance will do.
Yeah.
So they reduced Fubara to nothing. They reduced him to nothing. So when the guy has seen himself on the floor, he said, I can as well fight. I have nothing to lose. So he stood up to the guy and challenged the guy. That's what caused all the problem. Then this man allowed you to put all the commissioners.
Yet.
He now said he went to impeach the guy. And you know what they've been doing in Rivers? All of them in Rivers have been culpable in this oil bunkering. You know, they used to cook po fire. They used to do po fire. They've been doing it. Now the po fire has stopped. So those are part of the political issues. So it's a character issue. It's a character issue. These are people that if the minister had character, none of those ministry people will have been able to tell him that you. How can you tell? Because they know that he comes to work late. Why will he now want to use them to do film trick? He called camera and you're always coming to work late. You now say you want to use us to do so you don't have character. How can you enforce character in other people? So that is what happens.
Yeah.
Is there any political... Sorry, sir. Continue, sir.
And that's one of the biggest problems against fighting corruption in this country, right? You want the person who ought to enforce themselves, his hands are not clean. So in fact, it's not in his interest to enforce. It's just in his interest to ensure that let the thing not be too much, so that the whole system will not break down. You know what I mean? And maybe control who is doing what.
Is there any political party that we have now? Because I don't sit down sometimes. I go sit down, I go to think. Everybody go say, it's even the normal people. If you not the APC or PDP, they're not going to even look at
Your party doesn't have structure.
This one never
No.
existed.
What of the Labour Party people? Some of them were elected into the National Assembly, but we have seen them wearing Tinubu's cap.
Yeah?
You say,
Sorry. My bad.
Atawe win for this side now.
Atawe win for this side.
Sorry.
Maybe the material remains small.
Wait.
He just say use it to do cap for me. Or maybe the party where they go, the dress code.
Maybe not the party where
Is
they
it not the politician that they said that they voted for him by luck?
that he
They're
was
showing him the attack guy now. The attack guy.
So the question why they ask now,
And do you see them, Nedu? Do you see them challenging this government?
nobody, none, nobody challenges the government.
Yeah,
So what are we doing actually? What are we really doing? Okay, you go say because check am, even for election, make we put ballots now. You take a Labour, she takes Kowa, now woman, that one part where they get one woman. You take APC, you take PDP, and okay, I let the people decide to vote. The people will not mind you people. Now APC and PDP, maybe they will begin give you face because of the waiting Labour Party do recently. But before then, any other political party not make sense. But all of us know say these two political party now the same mama and the same papa na him point them. So is there any political party that can really even help us? Abi we just dey waste our time.
You see, truthfully speaking, the political actors in Nigeria are not serious-minded people. See, just like my big brother has said, power is never given. You go to take it, and you must take it intentionally. When the closest experience and example that we have in Nigeria of taking power was in 2014, 2015, when the coalition of opposition political parties came together and they decided that, PDP has been extremely arrogant about power and the way they've run power, just like the way the APC is currently doing now. And they identified PDP as the common enemy. And they ganged up together and they came together, aggregated all their interests, and they went for power and they got it. That's how to get power. With all the damage to our economy caused by this government, all the political actors in Nigeria should, by now, we shouldn't be talking about fractions of parties here, and they should see Tinubu as the common enemy. They should see the APC as the common enemy. Unite together in one voice. And first, forget about election. They should forget about election and aspiration and ambition. Hold this government accountable. Because democracies are strengthened when there's a viral and a credible and a strong opposition party or opposition to the government, whether it be in form of a political party or a movement. But right now, there is no opposition to the Tinubu government. And that's why there's practically nothing that Tinubu wants to do that he does not do. Have you ever seen, they just approve $2 billion loan, $2.2 billion loan, National Assembly.
Good.
Where are the PDP lawmakers? Where are the Labour Party lawmakers? Where are the other political parties lawmakers? They've not opposed one thing of this government. So let them first come together. Forget about your article, your OB, your this. Those things don't matter for now. Because you won't even stand any chance in 2027 if you don't come together to provide opposition. Look at on the Chibok girls issue. You remember what they did to the Goodluck Jonathan government? This the then opposition.
Yes.
They turned the Chibok girl thing into a major political thing, and everybody, including the U.S. stars, artists, the U.S. president, everybody was taking picture and making demands on. That is how to do opposition. And you nobody externally is going to help you to do opposition except you internally start it. You know, for me, believe me, as critical as I am of this government, if I see the government do the right thing, I'll be the happiest person. 3 people I want to succeed in this government. Number 1, Malam Nurubado, because it relates to issue of security. Number 2, EFCC chairman. Because if corrupt people are arrested or prevented from stealing, the country will be better off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lastly, this one has to do with issues around the economy. I wish that we have a competent Minister of Finance. I wish this Cardoso was not running the Babasokwe economy. I want him to succeed because I don't understand. Listen, today, if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reverses all the bad policies, bring back fuel subsidy, is it not better to bring back fuel subsidy than to be, okay, now, you say you save 12 trillion. Where is the money? You are saving money that is hurting the economy. By removing fuel subsidy, you hurt the economy. Because our naira will be better if you reverse the floating of the naira. Because what you are doing is that you are amassing more money for politicians to steal. The governors have had times 4 more money to steal. You can't see any project anywhere in any state. If this president reverses his policy, I'll be the first person to praise him. If you bring back fuel subsidy and fuel goes back to 100 and something, do you think the inflation things will not, our inflation figures will not drop?
It will drop.
Do you think that if he reverses the floating of the naira, do you think the naira will not improve? So the idea of these people see us as enemies when we just want them to do the right thing. Instead of listening to these sycophants, these Babasokwe boys, who all they do from morning to night is they know that the policies are wrong. They know that the policies are hurting the economy. But because they are benefiting from the system or they are too proud to admit their error. Nedu, if you are going to Lagos and you see clearly that the car you have entered is heading to Kaduna, it has even passed Kafancha.
You will come down.
No, not issue of coming down. Will you not raise alarm? Driver, where are we going?
Obviously, you go shout.
Everybody in the car knows that this vehicle is heading towards Kafancha.
Hey, God, I beg.
When they should be heading towards Lokoja, everybody knows. But when they go for meeting, Mr. President, you are the best. Mr. President, no. This is the best government that we've ever had.
But doesn't the president himself know that the boss is heading in the wrong direction?
He knows, but he's been entertained.
He's been entertained.
Yes, because when they tell him that, Mr. President, this vehicle is moving so smoothly, he nods his head. He knows they are deceiving him. But do you know the reason why he's concurring with them?
Yeah, Mike.
Do you know the reason why he's concurring with them? Well, he didn't come to work for the people. He just came to amass wealth.
At what age?
So what you are solving for as a government is an important, in other words, where are you heading? See, you may know what to do, but if that's not what you are there to do, you will not do it, right?
You may know what to do.
You may know what to do. You may know what to do.
But if that's
what is the right thing to do. But if that's not what you came there to do, you will not do it, right? And I think that a lot of the time we see that where the public interest is different from the interest of those who are making the decisions. In other words, there's a self-interest which is different from the public interest. Part of this whole thing about the policies and the subsidy and removal of the peg on the exchange rate. You can debate policies back and forth. In an ideal world, we will not have fuel subsidy and people will have the means to afford the price for petrol. That is the ideal situation, isn't it?
Right.
But when a situation where we got to a place where, because of the profligate actions of government in the past, because government has spent money irresponsibly in the past, they have printed money irresponsibly, the country was awash in naira, right? So something had to be done. Agreed, something had to be done. But the way in which it was done is what we have to quarrel with. Because there's a way you can do something that is, you are voting on the side of the people. Or there's another way you can do it where, in effect, you are voting on the side of narrow interests. You see what I mean? And my view is that more could have been done to vote on the side of the people. You see this thing about petrol subsidy that we're talking about. Why is petrol trading at over 1,000 or something naira? Is it not because of exchange rates?
Mm-hmm.
If exchange rate were 750 instead of 1,700 naira, where would petrol price be?
To come down.
So petrol price is a derived price that incorporates exchange rate. So the management of the exchange rate is really where the issue was. The management of the floating of that exchange rate, more could have been done to manage that process. And part of it, there are many parts, but one of the parts of it, for example, is the fact that banks, if you remember, had accumulated inappropriately billions and billions of dollars in their balance sheets. Which by their rules, they are not supposed to be able to do. So part of what you should have done in unwinding that situation was not to have done it in a way where the benefit went to the banks. No. You should have unwound it in a situation where you use that to now manage it for the benefit of the people, so that you manage the ability to float that exchange rate so that it doesn't take the kind of free fall that it did. Do you understand? If you have 7 billion, right, to manage your floating of the exchange rate, it would have been a very different place. You see what I mean? So you could have moved in that same general policy direction, but done it in a way that recognizes that, look, this thing is not trivial. It is fundamental to the well-being of people. Mm-hmm. So it's not a theoretical thing of standing up and saying subsidy is gone. No.
But is it really gone though?
Well, that's the thing. Because if you don't do it the right way, you end up going back in a cycle end up...
Will it ever make sense to anybody in this world that petrol that is produced and shipped from Brazil is cheaper than petrol produced in Ibejuleki here?
It never makes sense.
But that Aliko Dangote makes it make sense to all of us. So, and that is Nigeria for you. The more you look, the less you see. This cartel, they have interest in this place. So everybody's interest has to be factored in before you can get a liter of petrol. So you are not paying for the liter of petrol. You are paying for the interest of people in the deals. So
the Dangote we are shouting, the price is pegging the fuel. He's not pegging it for us. He's pegging it to put this person money.
The price it takes to bring the fuel into the country, all the costs, I can give you a breakdown so that maybe you include it in this report. I can give you a breakdown of price to lift crude from Brazil, all the prices. It's about 600 and something naira minus the product itself. So if you remove that away, since we are no longer paying for that, why should Dangote be selling fuel for 1,000 something? Even if he makes so much profit, shouldn't be more than 600 naira. And he will still be able to repay his loan that he has taken. Because he wants return on investment, right?
Yes.
So, but you are not buying a liter. You are paying for the interest of those that they don't put their arrangement. You know, say an arrangement. So they don't put people, Mr. So person for facilitating so they go put in own.
And own 2 naira, this one 5
so
naira.
Every liter they pay to that man we don't.
Well, hello.
So you decamped to PDP just last week.
Not last week,
recently, I'm sorry.
Earlier in the year, yes.
Earlier in the year. Sorry for using
PDP.
last week recently.
No problem.
Why?
Okay, so it relates to the discussion we're having earlier.
Yes.
You see, if you look at places that practice democracy, the type of democracy that we practice here, which is what they call a first past the post system of democracy. What you see in those democracies, and that means in any election, is the person that got the most votes. Whether it's 30% he got, the person that got the most votes is the person that wins. It's not a proportional representation kind of deal. In those systems, they tend to move towards a two-party system. Why? It's not because somebody said there should be two-party system. It's because that's the natural direction those systems tend to trend. Why? Because you have an incumbent. And just along with what he said, the opposition, in order to be an effective challenge to the incumbent, tends to coalesce together. So that typically what you then have, as you have Democrats and Republicans in the US and Labour and Conservatives in the UK, is that you have two that now sort of have equal might. They are battling with one another, and the people benefit from it. If people go with this guy for 4 to 8 years, they're not happy, they'll move to this guy. Do you see what I mean? So in that realm, you know, having gone through the last election, we just believe that the most credible platform where you can challenge the incumbency, really credibly challenge the incumbency on a national level, is the PDP. And that if you want to mount a challenge, that is the platform from which you can mount an effective challenge as a practical reality. Now, you can make some debates whether it's the only party or not and all of that. But part of it also, you have to ask the question about the national scope of the party, the robustness of the platform, whether it's reliance on, you know, a few individuals or whether it's a broad-based thing and so on. These are all judgments, right? Okay. And at the end of the day, you have to make a judgment of what is the next platform that gives the potential to challenge the incumbent and bring the value that you want to bring to the people. And the judgment we made was that, you know, it was PDP.
But popular knowledge is that almost everyone in Nigeria says PDP is the demon. APC is even the bigger demon. We don't want to hear these two parties. Why PDP?
Is it true that people say we don't want to hear these two parties? If you look at the outcome of the last election, does it bear that out? Does it bear that out?
I also think that PDP did some sort of rigging. People said it too.
Well,
PDP did some sort of rigging too.
Here's the thing.
So they are not the...
So now who outrig who now?
They are not better off.
So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself that, you know, going forward, and by the way, the robustness of the Labour platform and whether in 2027 it will be what it was in 2023, all those things, remember that all of these things they were talking about came about like a flurry. And anything that comes about like a flurry can go away like a flurry. Do you see what I mean? Because around what was it built? Is it because people loved the Labour Party?
Or it was the personality of the
candidates?
Or was there a rallying point that drove... do you understand?
And which Labour Party are we talking of? Is it the Labour Party now that they're now wearing APC cap?
What do you think?
But I think 2027, there are still things that are unfolding about it. But the reality is that at the end of the day, where we need to go or where we should be going is a situation where the opposition is coalesced, right, to provide a credible challenge to the incumbent and to give candidates who have something to offer and who the people believe can succeed the platform to go into office. Because part of it also is that when people see good candidates, right, it's not enough for people to see good candidates. They have to believe that you have the capacity. You can win.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So you are good, but the platform that you are on, can you really succeed? If they don't believe, it's like people like to support winning teams. You know what I mean? If they don't think that,
they will just assume that
just like
if you
Arsenal,
vote for them, you go waste time.
What are you now?
But I want to ask a question about the PDP in Lagos.
Yes.
The PDP in Lagos.
Yes.
The party, in fairness, it be like say the opposition they run am. There was a time that I don't know if the person was a serving chairman at the time or he just completed his term, and by Monday he moved to the major opposition, the party winning on the oppose since he just moved go that political party.
See, you will always have individual actions, right? So he just talked about certain things concerning even Labour candidates that are even in the assembly as we are speaking, right? So the truth of the matter is that and you have to understand that some of those things are not spontaneous. Do you understand? It's part of the political game. So some of those things are being sponsored by other political parties.
True.
You see?
True.
No, and it's not just PDP that is the target of those things. Even Labour Party itself is probably a target of those things, right? So you will always have those things. But part of what we are doing and part of the role that we are playing in coming into the party is also to support that unification effort. And there is a strong sense that, the party is the real option that exists. And if what we need to get our house in order to give the people something that they can get behind. And part of it is seeing that there are candidates, with all modesty, like myself,
are qualified,
who have analyzed the situation and have said, this is the way we are going, and we're going to be a force to put this thing together, and we're going to bring something that is an alternative to the people, and then people can make the decision.
I disagree a little bit with some of the submissions.
Okay.
And this is the reason. Yes, I agree about the coming together and all that, but this current PDP is in the pocket of Nyesom Wike at the national level.
Oh, wow.
He installed this Damagu guy who goes to serve tea. The current PDP chairman, he goes to serve tea in Femi Gbajabiamila Miller's house, the chief of staff to the president. While the national secretary, Sam Mayao, he will bring the, kilishi. While the chairman is serving tea, Sam Daddy goes to the kitchen to bring kilishi. So they eat. They are the people who are in charge of the PDP. These are Tinubu moles, just like the Julius Aburi guy in Labour Party. He's an APC mole. But so there is really no opposition per se, and that is why you can see that none of them is challenging the system. Aside few of us that are talking, who else is talking in the country
I'm talking.
that you can? Yes, you are talking yes, you are talking in Lagos. In Lagos, you are doing well here in Lagos and trying to. We're talking about challenging Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and this is rogue government. What it means to be an opposition. What it means to oppose government. In a government where we have poor people's home are being demolished in the FCT. Nobody's taking action. Nobody. Look at people who run to Very Dark Man. They are demolishing somebody and the person is shouting, Very Dark Man, come to my aid.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay, about it.
Do you understand? So people have lost hope in institutions, in opposition. In America, look at Black Lives Matter. One person was killed. Look at the role that the opposition and everybody in America played. Just one person lost his life. So this current PDP has currently presidentially constituted that goes to, these are people who are in bed with APC. The PDP cannot even hold his own neck meeting. Damagu and Wike and Samdadi have hijacked the party. So that is the kind of party that you want to go and place your bet on or reliance on. When what they intend to do is they want to fill a candidate given to them by Tinubu in 2027. Yes. Tinubu is a master of crushing opposition. He did it. He has done it for about 24 years in Lagos. So what they do is he will bring somebody, anoint somebody and put somebody in charge of the PDP here in Lagos. That's what they have been doing. So they're always in bed with them. They don't oppose them. They don't challenge them. See, yes.
But sir, you're in the PDP in Lagos, so I'm thinking is that
my brother is taking a very a sort of shall I say an extreme stance on it. See, will you have the situation where there might be people who are working for APC within PDP? Yes. Will you have the situation where there are people who are working for APC in Labour? Yes. Right? You can even argue that, but you see, even the people that you are calling in terms of the national, right? those engagements are still going on. It's not as if they are monolithically in charge of party affairs at the national level, right? So those engagements are going on at the national level. But, all politics is local, right? All politics is local. PDP still has a significant number of governors across the states. If you go to the National Assembly, between 40-50% of the legislators, they are PDP. So you can never write down that platform as an alternative platform. You can never. Now, the truth of the matter is that when people like us, right, step forward, you know, we bring a force ourselves, right? And we bring an energy, a direction to the party. And ultimately, we then create a rallying point, right? So to say
I really wish you well in this endeavor, but I know these people. Sincerely, I know these people. These are men that love dollars more than principle.
Obinko?
Yes, Obi is a little bit different, but he's also a devil. But you know, he's a lesser devil. Do you understand?
How is he a devil?
My brother, look at his antecedent in Anambra.
But he did good in Anambra.
Oh, he did good?
I mean, he was able to defend it, right?
Oh, he did good in Anambra? I didn't know. Where are the legacy projects that he did in Anambra? Even the roads were bad.
There was one video, I mean, where I see where they say the money he saved was the money they used to build airport.
Yeah, it was kind of
Okay.
I saw that video.
Okay.
It was the former governor of Taraba that said that.
Yes, you are saving money.
That Obi not told him.
See, you are saving money that you put in a bank that you have interest. Is that how to run government?
Maybe, well...
You put state resources in family business, which you yourself admitted. Is that how to run business? Easy. Yes. Kaderi Ahmed interviewed him. Go and Google it. Fact check me. Kaderi Ahmed, when he was running as vice president to Atiku in 2019, Kaderi Ahmed interviewed him and posed that question that it was your company that was used for a state project where they invested millions of dollars. And he said yes, but that he had resigned from the family company before he became governor. Who does that, for God's sake? That's why I said he's better than them. Do you understand? But he's just a lesser devil. Tinubu did it here in Lagos by using his supposed company, allegedly Alpha Beta, to be running things here. Is that how to run government? Is that... I don't understand.
So would you say Obi is the right man in the wrong party?
You know, I wouldn't say so. I would say Sowore is a right man in the wrong party. I would say Omoyele Sowore is the right man in the wrong party. Because you see, let me tell you something. Nigeria is rotten to its roots. To get Nigeria working again, you need somebody that is completely anti-establishment. That is not a friend to these people. That is coming to disrupt the system. Because anywhere you turn, you see Obi will take a picture with Atiku. Anywhere you turn, you see Obi is in this so wedding. Anywhere you turn.
So should he turn down invitation and quarrel with people?
Okay.
Because
Hold on.
All your friends are thieves. All your friends are thieves. All your clique are thieves. You are the only saint.
So there's an element of this.
Have you know how Yoruba say that if it smell like it, if it look like it, if it be
not be only Yoruba talk Oyinbo talk too. If it looks like a dog, walks like a dog, smells like a dog.
Yes.
But look, see, you know, there's a practicality associated with democracy anywhere in the world, right? Democracy is about plurality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no point being the only right person in your living room.
I agree.
Right? That doesn't benefit the people. It doesn't benefit the people. The people themselves will not support you. How many people will vote for Sowore? The people will not support you. People want to know that not only do you have the right intentions, but you have the right platform where their votes will not be wasted, where they can take you, where that can get you into that office to make a difference for them. You see what I mean? So as a practical matter, if you are going to bring change, you have to not just have the intrinsic qualities, but you must position yourself on a platform that the people believe.
But this was the argument we canvassed for Buhari in 2014, and people canvassed for Buhari in 2014, 2015. Where did he get Nigeria? That because people were saying, why don't we try somebody that has never done it before? They said, no.
The argument
they say Buhari has always had 14 million votes, that he's popular. that if you use another person, you cannot defeat Jonathan. So this idea of always justifying evil that if
No, we're not justifying. Listen, we're not
that
justifying.
if we no try person where they popular,
No. Listen
see,
to what
the person no go fit win. This is why we've been here 60-something years later.
Listen to what I said. I said you have to have the right person, but you also that right person also has to have a platform that people believe can succeed.
Yes, I agree, sir.
Those two things.
If you have Atiku, Tinubu, Peter Obi on a ballot without a election, I'll vote Obi. Because at least I know that Obi will not go and buy new private jet. I know that Obi will not destroy the country like this. Will not waste so much money like this. Because that's why I say it's a lesser evil. But me personally, I'm tired of voting lesser evil or supporting lesser evil. I don't want evil at all again.
So at this point, do you think Nigerians, we need a peaceful reform or revolution?
Sincerely, I'm more inclined to revolution.
Hey.
Bloodless revolution.
Is it
But is it
possible
possible in
to use
Nigeria?
Yes,
those two terms?
It is. Let me tell you something. All over the world, citizens have, at one point or the other, take back their country. See, that is why if you read section 14, is one of the most, our constitution is too bulky. I wish our constitution was like the American president constitution. Very short, concise, straight to the point. With the Bill of Rights, everything is explicit. You see that section 14, for me, is the most important section of our constitution that says sovereignty belongs to the people, from wherein government derives all its powers. All. So it means that the people are more important than the government. If the people say, the people have the right to start protesting and demand for the president to resign, and the president must resign, the people have the right to fill the entire streets. And there's nothing unconstitutional about that.
Police will come shoot you something.
Yes. The reason is because Nigeria is not a civilized place. That's why. Police will shoot
Can
people.
I take you up on that?
Yes, please.
Do you know that thing that you're talking about can happen through the polls?
Of course it can. That's
That
why
thing-
that's
no,
that-
so that
that's why it's a
thing-
peaceful revolution.
That thing that people bring people out on the street to make that the demand, if it brought them out en masse on election day, right?
I agree.
It will accomplish the same thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
It will accomplish it. But to the
sir,
extent that-
what if we bring people out to vote another Buhari?
That's democracy now. Democracy is, as the people, even in America, they voted Trump. If you stay with him for 4 years, you don't like him, you remove him. It's unless we don't want democracy. If we say we don't want democracy, let's know we don't want democracy. Let's go and look for a military ruler to rule us. But if we want democracy, that's how it works. You understand? You elect somebody, you are the one that elected the person. If you don't like him,
not INEC.
no, we're talking about no. So hold on.
In the
We are
ideal system.
yes, we are saying that if the people come out en masse to vote somebody, and then they discover that person is not who they thought they
was.
they
They'll
have
vote
the
out the
same
After 4
ability.
years of
After 4
suffering
years.
again.
Well, then what are you going to do? That is democracy. You can sit down and
But sir, will you say that we are practicing democracy in this part of the world?
It is up to us.
Where in 2019 in this country, election was going against Buhari, they switch off the server. INEC switch off the server.
Yes. So yeah, they did.
I'm not
No.
defending INEC. I'm not even defending the political process. I have a lot of problems with the political process, right? But the truth of the matter is that we will not get to where we are going by sitting down at home, right? Even when they called for end good governance the other day, how many
End
bad
bad.
governance or whatever?
End bad.
How many people were on the streets after day 5?
Sir, you will not blame Kajade for bad governance.
The ones
With
that
the one
came
that
out-
happened to us, we
Hold
have
on,
not.
hold on now. The ones that came out, and I defended, by the way, people's right to do that thing. But what I'm saying is that after a few days, people go back home. So people don't like fighting long
Did you
wars.
see the children in the court?
The minors that were
The minors that were.
and they denied it.
Even in Lagos, where there was no,
So, sir, in fact,
violence.
They still had people in.
After a few days, people went back to their businesses.
sir,
Is what I'm saying.
I also think that people look at situations and they try to be careful. A friend of mine who is a senior correspondent for a media organization in Nigeria, he trended on Twitter. he was assaulted while the cameras were rolling. The people who assaulted him physically had their faces captured on camera, and nothing happened. Somebody came out to say, if you are Yashukudi, if you are this, if you are that, don't come out. And the person, the chief.
We're talking about election now. That's one.
No. End bad governance protest. The election is the second example I'm giving.
Okay.
He was reporting from one of the centers where government designated people. They told him, go over here, camera here. Somebody was with a shovel. Their faces were captured, and nothing happened. So people look at this and say, "I will not come out."
Because during the other protest, where somebody carried cutlass, stand for center of road.
Till now,
nobody don't touch am, and the picture was there. So it shows you that even when you come outside, your life is worth nothing.
Even the thugs that were driven out with SUVs, the thugs that came and they were driven out in SUVs.
That was in Abuja now.
Yes,
they were taking them to certain centers and pointing.
The solution. The solution is very simple. The solution is that citizens must, just like he said, the critical mass
is the people.
People must aggregately come out.
Angrily.
Overwhelmingly.
People.
Overwhelmingly.
Yes. To overwhelm the bad
people.
people. Because the bad people are more on election day. These are people that receive money for votes, exchange for votes. Yes. And also the bad boys of the political parties are more. So if there are more people that overwhelms the bad people, then results will come.
It's in the hands of the people.
Also, people should stop letting INEC people get away with daylight robbery. Because INEC is our number one problem in this country. From 1999 till date, every election, hundreds of people have been arrested for vote buying, for ballot box snatching, from this, from that. But not one person has been put on trial in over 24 years. Not one person. And the law says electoral offenses is a crime. Not one person is on trial. In the recently concluded election in Nedu, more than 100 people were arrested by SSS, police, EFCC, for all kinds of electoral malpractices. I can assure you that by this time next year, not one person will be put on trial. There's no consequences for bad behavior.
This point, to put a sort of exclamation mark on it, and just to even make it concrete. So we talk about the number. Let's just use Lagos. 20 to 30 million people in Lagos. 7 million registered voters. 1 million votes. 1 million votes. That's 5% of the electorate, right? At best, maybe less, right? Now, even of registered voters, it's about 15%. It's the lowest in the country. It is the lowest in the entire country in Lagos. What does that mean? That means that for if 1 person out of 1 million out of 7 million, but what does it mean? It means that for every 1 person who came, 6 people were not there. So you came, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we stayed at home. Do you understand? If 1 or 1.5 come, you double the number of voters, right? And how many of these 1.5 will support an incumbent government that is making life difficult for them every day? You see what I mean?
Yes.
Most of that 1.5 is likely to be people who would vote for a change in the status quo. So this thing is not very far away. It's actually not very far away. It would have been a different thing if this incumbent government, out of that 7, they are getting 6. Do you understand? Then you know you are in real problem. But they are getting half of 1 or maybe 2/3 of 1. Do you understand? That is the means by which they are sustaining the power. So these are the things we have to keep our eye on. That will not let us become, so disillusioned that this thing, it cannot be reached. It can be reached. A situation, when you have been in a situation for a long time, there's a tendency to feel that situation will remain in perpetuity.
Very true.
But throughout life, throughout history, in many circumstances, things remain in place for extended periods. But the day they change is one day.
I would like for us to touch on something, because it's interesting that we're having this conversation and we have focused on the problems and have also proffered solutions to these problems. But it would appear like for certain members of the political class, they try to take advantage of the people, and bigotry has now become entrenched in our society.
Right.
That even public officials, say whatever they want to say, and their principal would not even call them to order. In certain cases, the principal would just say, maybe some go chop suspension. Like this guy when recently go say, the people when do that 2020,
Yes.
the people that burnt down that
TVC.
television station,
AK-47
that they have been
delivery.
hunted down and executed.
Executed.
Yes.
Someone
that's
dey
what
explain
he
Queen's
said.
English for us.
Executed by killing them.
Now
Yes.
wetin him talk for the tweet
Hunted down
and executed.
He
He
said
can't
it.
try explain, say not be the context when he try talk.
How
with that.
else is executed?
What I'm saying is he's
Doesn't
currently
make
on
sense.
suspension. There was
He will
even
come back. He's going to make
there
a
was a
comeback.
public official who led a protest, and they were bearing placards. May I paraphrase?
Our
The
Lagos.
placards they tell people say, "Now we get Lagos, but now una can't do business. Una can't do business for here." These are also issues that contribute to the decision of certain people to stay away on election day, where you have actors boldly making it look like it is a certain group that they are targeting. Somebody don't talk say Yashukudi. Now my mama go call me now say
Shukudi.
don't go there. Then go say now we cause am, and all of these spread the hate. And when you make people feel you are not from here, go back here. And if we check the history of people, you go see say Lagos na the most cosmopolitan in nature. You have people who they go shebi when people were talking about the story about Sheyi, some people call it talk say Lagos will finally have a first lady that is from the another part of Nigeria, because some people they thought say in wife not be. So
My particular tribe.
I would want us to touch on that as we wrap.
Yeah, in closing, sincerely speaking, you see, the only illiterate, God-forsaken beings focus on tribe, defend their tribe from morning till night, their ethnic group, propagate against other people's tribe or religion. These are innate attributes. You cannot choose where you are born. Neither can you really choose where you're from. So these are things that people do not have any control whatsoever over. So your education is a waste, sincerely speaking, if you feel that you need to defend your tribe. I've never defended my tribe. I don't care anything said about my tribe. And I don't know why people make everything. Once people lose brain power and they lose ideas and they lose superior reasoning, they resort to tribe. The reason why they started embarrassing their tribe and themselves and their education and their parents and their upbringing is because they knew they were going to lose the election. So they turned it into a tribal war thing. They knew that they had not performed. They had once performance is an issue, then people tend to try to look for other forms of blackmail, to gain or win an argument. So it's most condemnable. These are hate crimes. Majority of those things that are said and majority of this conduct must be condemned by anyone who loves humanity. And after all, were we not all children of the same parents? Were they not the colonizers that came and brought out the knife and divided Africa into various countries and said, this is Ghana, this is Ivory Coast, this is... So we're all in the same pot. Who told you that you are really Igbo? Told you that you are really Yoruba?
For real though.
Can you
Who told you that you are really Ghanaian?
Yeah.
So these, we're just one people under God. And the more we acknowledge the fact that we are one people under God, the better for all of us. And stop the hate, stop the divides, and just focus on humanity. What you count is, where are you? Who are you? I'm a human being. And just treat people the exact way that you expect to be treated. Thank you.
Okay.
So if I can just add a little bit
Go on,
to
sir.
that,
Go on.
and he has said, most of what needs to be said on this. The only other thing I'll add is that this is not new. Politicians have been exploiting ethnic sentiment from the 60s
And they will
first
still do it.
election, and they may still do it in the future. I think it is incumbent on actors in the political space to and those who are bringing a different way of thinking to not play into those things and to not essentially create that polarization around ethnic issues. It is up to us to make the people see that the deprivations, the denigrations, the outright subjugation, the impoverishment that they are suffering cuts across ethnic lines. And so their interests are best served in uniting to determine the direction in which they will go to seek a solution to those things than in, fighting amongst themselves. But if one side is stoking ethnic sentiments, and then instead of making this case, we get into a divided ethnic conversation, it helps that narrative, which then, enables them to achieve what they are setting out to achieve. So I think from a principles perspective, everything he said is true. From a practice perspective, we also have to take this position so that it cannot be used in a negative way against the people.
True. I mean, loads of subjects to touch on and context to discuss, but we are pressed for time. And we don't want a situation where what happened the last time, they will now accuse us again. Now we had to rush it. That was why we said, let's take it home. And as they don't hear Comrade Deji talk, say, finally, they don't know, say, we not push and come out for inside the studio. So thank you very much, Mr. Funsho Doherty. God bless you. Thank you very much, Comrade Deji Adeyanju. I mean, when people know that there are people like you in our society, because sometimes we get carried away by those in our faces, but we are also using our platform to also get people to listen and know that there are people who are doing their best to see that Nigeria becomes a better place for everyone to live in. I know say some people go look and say, Jackpa, once they come out, they don't go be that. But the truth is, nation building and national development is a collective effort, and we must all play our part to see that our country becomes very, very
even those
great.
who don't jackpot, I think they're more interested
When they don't go out.
when they don't go out.
Because they go see everything and they go know. So thank you very much. God bless you.
Good night.
This is a wonderful
Thank
platform.
you.
Everybody,
Thank you.
please support
Thank
the
you.
platform.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you very much.